Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? Hello, and hope you're having a good week. Welcome to today's Visionary Voices Deep Dive. And today we're talking about calling in your people. Now, this is a really valuable topic I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm talking about it in a way that's I haven't seen talked about very often. And when I've shared this with a few people that I know, they're kind of going, wow, that's really powerful to see this idea of who you're calling in this way. So this is going to be a super valuable topic. And I want to just share with you an experience that I've had around this way of calling in what you would love to experience in your life. I remember in August 2004, so 18 years ago this month, going to the sea with Althazar, my husband. We were going to go for a walk, and just as we parked our car by the sea near the rocks where we were going to go for a walk on the beach, the heavens opened and it poured down with rain, and we're like, we take a step out there, we're going to be soaked. This is the west of Ireland after all, and it's wet sometimes. So instead we sat in the car in the rain and did something that we had been talking about doing but not getting around to. So I pulled out a notebook and a pen, and we wrote down a list of all the things that we would like to create in our first home together. We'd been living in rented accommodation for the first 6 years that we were together, and we really was feeling this call to create our first home. We lived in London. Everything was super expensive. We didn't know how we were going to afford it, how we were going to get a mortgage, but we sat down and we wrote down the list of what we would love to create. Lots of light, lots of, this number of rooms, this is how it's going to feel, this is what we need, and this is where we would like it to be. And 6 months later, there were some dramatic things going on in my life that were revealing what was in the way to manifesting this clear desire. For example, I had my purse stolen twice from the same bag in the same cafe. And then also we had our home, a rented home, broken into. So some really painful experiences, but that really helped us to see and helped me to see what was in the way of manifesting this desire. And it was down valuing myself, really knowing that I'm worth receiving everything that the universe wants to give to me. And once I got that, and once I worked through that, I got a new job, I doubled my salary, we got the mortgage. Within 3 months, we'd bought our beautiful 2-bedroom flat in North London, and we had our foot on the property ladder, and we're starting to go up that. And it was a magical process. It was beyond what we could have imagined. So within a year, we were moved in there, and we also attracted some support to furnish the place and do what we needed to do. It was really magical. I followed this same process for our next 2 homes, including moving in to my dream of living in an arts and crafts home in a beautiful area with trees and gardens, and had a gorgeous feel for it. And then 2 years ago, a magical home that magically turned up on my 50th birthday. It wasn't even on the market, that had everything that we had on our list and more beyond, beautifully decorated, and everything was absolutely perfect. So, and then I asked myself, why don't I use this method of calling in what I want in my business? And I probably was to an extent, but probably not fully and consciously using this magical power to call it in. So if you're here watching, just type in the comments, say hello, say where you're watching us from, and let me know what's your experience of manifesting a home, a relationship, a job, a magical situation, a trip, a holiday. You know, what's your experience of calling in your desires to your life? I would love to hear from you. And the reason I'm sharing this about calling in your people is a lot of the people that I encounter and work with, and include myself in this as well, you might have a really clear vision of the change you would love to create in the world. Wouldn't the world be a better place if more creative, sensitive visionaries who really want to make a difference felt able and safe to be more visible and share their voices and share their magic? You might have your own vision and mission that you want to bring. And you know this involves sharing your wisdom and your vision and your transformation, your offerings, and influencing the people that you would love to share this magic with, who need that. But when it comes to opening your heart to real humans with all the dynamics and complexities and messiness that can bring, it's so easy to shrink and to hold back and wait until you feel ready. I know for me, when I was younger, I was like, people are scary. And that went on for a long time and can still be there. It's like, oh, people, I'm not sure. I want to do this gorgeous work, but dealing with people can be challenging. So what if you could get super clear on the energies of the people you are calling in and know exactly what you're available for and what you're not available for in terms of what you're calling in? And how would that impact your confidence, your commitment, and your willingness to show up fully? Because so many people I know who end up calling in the wrong people, and then they just shut the doors again. And there's this kind of like, oh yeah, I want to be open, I'm not sure. And so energetically, you're not being magnetic, you're not attracting in those people. So what comes up for you around this? How is this relevant for you? What is it that you're aware of, and what's your experience around opening up in reality to let people into your world to do the work that you would love to bring to the world? So, and what do you find challenging about this? I'd love to hear from you. So what we're going to talk about today is just, start with get clear on what you're attracting right now and how that's working for you. Create a clear vision and felt sense of what and who you would ideally love to call in. I'm not going to go into your niche and what you offer, that's available in many, many different places, but this piece of it I haven't seen many places. And then we'll explore, who are you being? Who are you being energetically in order to become a match for those you want to attract? And how can you use that beingness to really draw that in? Okay, hi Rosalie, hi Esther, lovely to see you here today. Rosalie is saying you did the same last year. Yes, in terms of moving to your gorgeous new home, Rosalie. So this would be interesting for you to see how you can use that same process to call in the beautiful clients that need your work in the area that you're now in. So let's dive in. So let's get clear on, who are you attracting right now? So where are you now? So just take a few deep breaths, and I invite you to reflect on, what are you attracting right now? And how is that working for you? So how many people, and that might be clients or customers or group participants, followers, people on your mailing list, whatever is relevant for you, but just feel, how many people are you attracting? Is it enough? Is it not enough? Is it a trickle? When you would like a flood, is it, sometimes a lot, sometimes not. You go through feast and famine. So just get a sense of how many people are you attracting right now? And relative to where you would like it to be, how many would you like it to be? And you might want to write this down or just reflect on this, but it'd be good to have a piece of paper for the next few pieces we're going to do. And then who are the people that you're attracting? Perhaps you're attracting enough people, but they're not quite the right fit for what you bring. So there might not be a fit for the work that you do. They might not be clear on what they want to offer, and yet they're looking for visibility, or they come to you, you help with money and they want help with the relationships, and it's not quite the right thing. It might be that you're attracting people who are not ready to invest or are not ready to do the deeper work that you offer or the specific process that you're inviting people into. It might be that they're not at the stage of life or of business that's a perfect fit for who you are. Some people love to work with people who are at the beginning stage of whatever it is, and others, they're a perfect fit for people who have a lot of experience and are looking to take it to the next level. All of that is wonderful, but maybe, are you calling in the people who are a right fit for you? Or perhaps you're calling in people who take enough of those boxes, but somehow they drain you. Somehow they don't excite you. Somehow they don't feel energetically like a good match for your vibration. So just no shame, no judgment, just get clear. Who are you calling in? And is it a trickle? Is it a flood? Is it a feast and famine? How many are there? So just getting present to that current situation, because if they're not the right people, or you're not having a good experience with them, you may be unconsciously putting the brakes on attracting them and actually energetically repelling them. Because I had a bad experience with that person, I'm going to energetically close the doors to the business for a while, because I'm not clear on who I'm attracting and I don't know why this is coming into me. I know one friend of mine who does amazing work, who attracted a client who was super negative, super critical, always complaining, and it really pulled her off her center for quite a long time, dealing with one person who was really in victim and in blame mode, and it was very hard to deal with. And so it was very hard to keep your heart open and keep putting yourself out there when there's some drama going on. It could really dent your confidence, which is why getting super clear, which is the next step, is so valuable and so important. So this next piece, if you haven't already, it might be useful to take out a piece of paper or come back to the recording when you're at a place where you can do this, because this is so valuable to do this and to keep returning to this. I'm going to invite you to make a list, as you would for a home, for a partner, for a perfect job, of what you want and what's important to you, just as you would in those other situations, and creating a really clear vision. So creating a specific and clear request to the universe to bring you what you desire. You're saying this, hey universe, this is what I want. So just think about people you would love to call in. What are their characteristics and how does it feel? when you interact with them? How do they make you feel? So for example, you might be looking for people who are open, who are loving, who are kind. What's on your list? Who are sensitive, who are spiritual or conscious or open-minded, who are creative, who are bright, who are fun-loving, who are playful, who are really positive and, you know, willing to be vulnerable. What is it for you that people who are that can reflect on what's going on for them? People who take responsibility for themselves. People who are willing to do the deep work. People who are willing to invest in themselves at the level at which you're desiring to offer. People who are ready to step in now, and not lots of people who are saying, oh, I'm not ready later. People who are willing to take action, you know, really, you know, take the next steps that you are inviting them into. So what is it on your list? What are their characteristics? And how are they treating you? You know, how does it feel? Do they respect you? Do they appreciate you? Do they make you feel loved and appreciated? Are they grateful? You know, that's really important. And you can be very clear on, I'm calling in people who are treating me in this way. That's what I'm available for. And I'm, you know, not available for these things. And think about that. What is it that you're not available for? People who don't complain, who are not into blame or gossip, people who are not whingers or moaners or petty and niggling about, you know, little things. It's not that we, you know, don't want feedback. Absolutely we want feedback, but there's a vibe, you know, people who are stuck in victim mode and just want to blame and don't want to take responsibility. So just feel, what is it that you're not available for? People who don't waste your time, who aren't just wanting to, you know, get the free stuff, you know, maybe be a seminar junkie or a freebie seeker, but not actually willing to do the deep work, who might kind of hook you in and then not go forward. Any of those messy dynamics or, you know, critical energies. So just get clear, what is it for you? What is it that you're saying, I'm not available for that? If you've been attracting that either in the past or recently, you can say, I'm not available for that. Okay, universe, take note. Write it down. Write it down. What is it that you're available for? What do you want called in? What do you not? So take the time, and you know, you can spend more time on this after you've watched this. Take the time to get clear on who they are, how they make you feel, how they're interacting with you, you know, also, you know, how they think, what they need, how you can serve them better. All of those things, you know, if you think about all of the, you know, the ideal client and where they are, what stage they're at in their life, in their work, in their relationships, whatever is relevant for you. So bring all of that together into your vision of the who it is that you are calling in. And you can do this if relevant for each program you offer. You might be working, you know, Rosalie, you're working with children in some cases and adults in others, so you can do this separately. So yes, I'm just going to read some comments here, put my glasses on. Not Rosalie saying not enough yet, but it's growing slowly since last month. Wonderful. Just in the process of accepting the witch in me more and more in the Catholic environment I work in. Beautiful. And accepting the witch shaman in me during my work. That's very powerful. And thank you, Rosalie, because you're leading us into the final part before we finish. Esther saying yes, breaks on. So hopefully, Esther, this is giving you it might be some clues as to where the brakes can be on as well. Because the last part of this is just what Rosalie has been sharing, is about exploring who are you being energetically to become a match for what it is that you want to attract. So, you know, and where can you stretch in to the next level of that in yourself? So if you are attracting clients who are in resistance, for example, where can you look at, okay, what area of my life might there be some resistance in that I can, you know, engage with the energy of resistance and say, okay, I'm willing to go beyond that, and activate and become a match for people who are moving through resistance and not stuck in resistance. And it can just be a tiny shift. It doesn't have to be fixing your whole life. This can be a tiny shift of, oh, I'm not in resistance, I'm in forward motion. And you can attract other people who are in forward motion rather than stuck in resistance. You know, what else might it be if you're attracting people who keep saying, I'm not ready to invest? You know, where is it that you might need to kind of say, I'm ready to take the next step, whether that can be in any area of your life, but just activate those energies of who you are being. And if you're attracting people who are doubting themselves and not ready to go in, it's like, where can you be present with your own doubt and say, okay, I'm going to lean in. And anything else, you know, where is the victim energy in you? We all have it. We all have victim. We can get into the low vibe conversations at times. Just notice that and just kind of go, that's interesting. Let me up level. Let me, you know, pull my energy out of those conversations and kind of go, no, I'm going to keep my vibe higher and be a little bit cleaner in how I'm showing up and how I'm expressing, so that I can attract in more beautiful people who are on this vibe with me. That's really powerful, as Rosalie is saying, owning, you know, the witch, owning the shaman, owning the magical being that you are, and calling in other magical beings who want what you have. So what does that look like for you? You know, what is it? Who are you being energetically? And how can you amplify that and lean in even more to become a match for what it is that you want to be calling in? So what are you taking away from this topic today? I would love to hear from you. What are your insights, your ahas? What can you see is relevant for what you're experiencing around who you're calling in? And it might be in terms of who you're being. If you're attracting people who are not ready to invest, or who are not ready to invest in longer programs, you know, where does that reflect your limitations around investing in yourself? We all have our money stuff and our money edges, but just notice, you know, where are the edges around that? Because sometimes committing, and it might just be, oh, I remember buying myself a really beautiful pair of shoes that really stretched me a few years ago. It really stretched me, and it was just after there'd been a big lockdown. All the shoe shops had been closed and they opened again. And I just decided I'm going to get myself a really nice, comfortable, but glamorous pair of shoes. And the price really stretched me. But I was giving to myself. I was opening to receive, to give to myself. And I went on to attract 3 new clients and had the best month in my business ever. So open to receive. It might be investing in a coach, in a training program, but it could be something else as well that you really feel, I'm going to give to myself and be a match for attracting in people who want to give to me. So let me know what your takeaways are, and let's see any more comments here. So hi, Kathy, nice to see you here. Being my magical self has called me to call in more of like people. Beautiful, Kathy. That's exactly what we're talking about today. Esther saying good questions. Yeah, so giving you a lot of questions to go away and reflect on. You can come back and post in the comments when you're ready, when you've done more of this reflection, and let me know how you're getting on and how this serves you. And if you would like to go deeper with any of this, if you feel like you need to clear any old blocks or activate more of the magical selves that you are, I offer Visibility Superpowers Experience, the mini coaching package, and I help you really, clear deep blocks and activate your superpowers. I was working with somebody doing that last week, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it goes this deep." And it's like, yes. So it's really powerful. If you want support, reach out. And otherwise, have a great week. Lovely to see you today. And let me know how you get on with your reflections and who you are calling in. Bye for now.